Hello folks, welcome to our free UCAN.tv tutorial. Today we're gonna preserve the Xbox 360 version, the Jasper version, from going error 71 or error 73. These two errors are connected with the bridge unit. However, repairing a bridge unit with a Jasper motherboard version is a hard task to do. That's because the bridge itself cannot be exposed to heat for a longer period of time. Heat is deeply involved in the reballing process, so reballing a bridge in the Jasper motherboard version is an impossible thing to do. It won't result positively. That's because, as I've said before, the bridge cannot be exposed to heat for a longer period of time. But the worst part is that you cannot buy a new one. It is impossible to buy a brand new bridge for the Jasper motherboard version, even though it's hard to get a refurbished one, so it's best not to let it ever happen, right? Today we're gonna show you how to preserve the motherboard in the Jasper version from going overheat. We're gonna use two special items today. The first item will be a small micro aluminum radiator, which is going to be stocked with the second item, the thermal compound glue. I know personally I've tested two kinds of thermal compound glues. The first kind is the Arctic glue and the second is the Zalman glue. Both the glues can be purchased on eBay. So they're not expensive, so your wallet probably won't feel a thing. We'll show you how to complete disassemble the Xbox 360 FAT version, how to stick the aluminum radiator to the bridge unit, and how to change the thermal compounds under the main radiators of the graphic and central processors. So, follow me to the workbench and we'll show you how to do it. Thanks again for watching our UCAN TV tutorial. If you are a staff service member, please visit our site ucan.tv and go through articles. There is a freshly added article how to recognize if the chip is a brand new. So if you are into BGA units, BGA chips, you can find this interesting. So thanks again and see you soon in the next free tutorials. Welcome back folks. Now we're gonna completely disassemble the Xbox 360 Classic version. So we're gonna start with the panel, put the console on its back and grab the panel from the bottom side. As you can see here, there is this special point underneath the USB ports. I'm gonna take our two fingers, firmly grab it and drag it towards you. As you can see, the panel smoothly separates from the console. Now we're gonna remove the side panels here, the plastic side panels. This is easy, the hard drive patch. Now we're gonna start from the front. So using your finger, just gently and push the panel to the top. Latches can be reached from here. As you can see, they have easy popped out. So as you can see, there are some holes here and two marked holes. This is the place where the second latch is covered. So just using a small screwdriver, pushing the latches through the holes. And the last latches are located here in the back. I think that the one is still holding. And there is a surprise. The last latch is located here, but it is a tricky one. As you can see, there are two rubber feet. This particular rubber feet covers the last latch. We have to gently remove it. It is stuck with some kind of glue to the case of the console, the housing. Okay, yeah. And as you can see, there's a hidden hole underneath. I'm gonna push it with the screwdriver and the side panel is now taken off. Remember to stick the rubber glue back in order not to lose it. And now the second side panel, it's the similar. The latches are located here, here, and here. Of course, we're starting with the front, using a finger already lifting the side panel, and we're just pushing on the latches. And the last one here, okay. And the side panel is out. Now, place your console on the front. Now we're gonna take the bottom plastic housing, this part over here. We're gonna use a simple straight screwdriver like this one. It has to be thin and small enough to gently go through these small holes, gaps in the back of the housing. It has to gently and smoothly go through these holes. These holes covers the plastic latches which are to be pushed during the separation process. So what we're going to do now, use your one hand, grab this spot here, and with your fingers push the top cover as if you already are separating the two covers. And now, using our simple screwdriver, we're gonna push through the holes. When you hear the click sound, it means that the latch is open. Okay, the right side is already opened, and here are two last latches to push. Yeah, and as you can see, the bottom part of the housing is already separated, but not yet. Not yet. Place the console on the back again, and as you can see here, 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 and here, we have the front latches. We have to separate them to open them, to take the bottom cover off. So again, using our simple straight screwdriver, we are gently lifting the front latches, as you can see here, and the bottom part is already separated now. Also remember to take off the eject button as well at this step, because it is necessary to take it off before removing the top housing. So just gently remove it. It's not stick or anything. And now we're gonna unscrew the screws, which are to be found on the bottom side of the metal cage, which covers the motherboard itself. We're gonna remove all of them. That's because we want to show you the complete disassembly of the Xbox console. If you are only here to attach the metal radiator to the bridge unit, you don't have to unscrew all the screws, just these 6 screws. Here, 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 and here. These are the longer screws. These screws hold the top cover, and removing the top cover is enough if you want to only attach the radiator to the bridge. But if you want to disassemble all the console and change the thermal compounds, which are found underneath the central radiators on the CPU unit and the graphic unit, you'll have to unscrew all of the screws And this is what we are going to do now. So first remove the bigger Torx screws. I'm gonna use a Bosch automatic screwdriver. So let's start. And now, of course, we're gonna remove these screws here, the small ones, the black small screws located in the central area of the metal cage here. I advise you to remove it manually. That's because it's easy to damage the screw, and when the tip of the screw is damaged, it will be hard to unscrew it and take off the radiators, therefore. So it's best to use a manual Torx screwdriver in order to take all of the precautions. It will take probably some longer time now. Alright, as you can see, all of them are unscrewed now. Okay, that's all for the bottom of the case. Okay, now let's move on to removing the top housing. As you can see, it went off pretty gently. Now let's remove the DVD-ROM. Just firmly grab it with your fingers. Remember, when your console has never been opened before, remember that there is a aluminium sticker which holds the DVD-ROM to the metal cover. You'll have to remove the sticker if you want to lift the DVD-ROM. As you can see, I'm lifting the DVD-ROM right now. I'm disconnecting the DVD-ROM from the motherboard. Now, DVD-ROM, SATA, and power cord. Now we're gonna gently lift the tunnel. Okay. And now we have to unscrew 3 screws. These are the same as those which we found underneath the radiators. So again, we're using Torx screwdriver. There are only 3 of them, so it won't take long. And now I'm lifting the board. I am taking it out from the metal cage. And as you can see here, this is in this case it is a Falcon board. We don't have any Jasper on the stock at this time, but there is no difference in the installment of the elements between these 2 versions. The Jasper is more or less the same concerning the layout of the elements. The bridge is located here, and this is the unit which we are going to focus on. This unit is to be preserved with this aluminium radiator. We're gonna stick the radiator to the bridge using a thermal compound glue, which will make the radiator cool down faster. The heat from the bridge will hastily lift the unit and go into the air through the aluminum radiator which we are going to install. But before doing that, we're gonna show you how to remove the X clumps properly. As you can see, again, I'm using the screwdriver, the simple screwdriver. I'm putting it here at the tips of the X clamps. I'm gently lifting it up. Remember, do it gently in order not to scratch any of the area of the motherboard. There are many micro elements, so this step has to be carried out carefully. As you can see, the radiator go off easily. And now the second one. If you feel a strong resistance, move on to the next tip. And the second X clamp is removed. In this particular case, the thermal compound has been changed before. There is no need to remove it and put a new layer. But when your console was bought, it was spreaded with the thermal compound here by the manufacturer. But if some years, like 2 or 3 years, have passed since you purchased your Xbox, you should totally disassemble it and change the thermal compound found here and here. It will preserve your Xbox from going overheat and preserve from errors connected with the red ring. Solution, the best solution is to preserve it right now. Okay. Now we're gonna wash the bridge with alcohol in order to make the glue stick easily. Now we're gonna mix the glue, the thermal compound. We're gonna use the Zalman glue here. Using a Arctic compound is a little bit risky because Arctic is a pretty strong glue, so there can be a problem with removing the radiator. If there will be any need in the future to desolder this chip from the motherboard, it's best to remove the radiator. Zalman is not that strong. Zalman will probably go off easily in the future, and the Arctic is a pretty strong glue, so it can cause you troubles. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm mixing the Zalman glue. It was in the form of 2 ingredients. I squeezed out the 2 ingredients and now I'm mixing them. I think it's ready to use. Now I'm putting a thin layer of glue, of the thermal glue, on the surface of the bridge. And we can put also some on the surface, on the bottom surface of the radiator. And now I'm placing the radiator on the bridge. Place it firmly. And now we should leave it for about 10 to 15 minutes to make it stuck firmly to the surface of the bridge. Okay, I think that the glue now holds firmly, as I can feel. It holds strongly. Now our bridge won't go overheat. Especially in Jasper versions of the motherboard, this bridge is a very hard thing to repair. As I've said before, there are no refurbished or new or brand new units on the market available, so it's best to preserve it as we showed. If you have changed the thermal compounds, we can begin the assembling process. We'll start with putting on back the radiators. Start with the GPU. Just place it. Hold it with your one hand from the bottom, not to let it go off. And we're placing back the X-clamps. Remember that this hole should be facing the outwards. As you can see, the X-clamp has been installed correctly. Sometimes you will have to use the screwdriver to help you out with the tips. And now we're putting back the second CPU radiator. Always remember that the rose here has to be facing the front part of the GPU radiator in order to make the air go through it clearly. Okay, just put it on the bottom, and the second X-clamp goes on. Remember the rule, facing outwards, the hole facing outwards. Sometimes you'll have to help yourself with the screwdriver. Okay, and here, of course. Alright, the X-clamps are on. You can proceed with the assembly according to our disassembling process, which we shown before. So, thank you for watching and see you soon at UCAN TV tutorials.